podcast. Second show back and still going strong at this point. We got your stories of what you've witnessed but you didn't call into the police. It's something that we mentioned on the show last night and we got to do it tonight and it did not disappoint. Plus, we also got your sky-high nightmares and horrendous plane stories. And also, we did a fun experiment around passwords. Enjoy.
I think this is the best show of the year so far.
Hey, got one in. It needs the context of last. No, you can.
But do you think this is better than last night?
I think both shows are great, but I think tonight's was probably better, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think so.
You think yesterday's was better?
Yeah, I think yesterday's.
Well, this is room for intellectual debate. And if you'd like to weigh in on the conversation, of course you can at any time on the Ben, Liam and Bell AF Squad.
Enjoy.
Previously on Ben, Liam and Bell.
You're a stander.
I was taught to wipe, I just wasn't taught in what position to be.
Maybe the position where it's accessible.
The shop closes. You sort of you keep the shop open, but you're standing up.
And now, live across Australia, this is Ben, Liam and Bell.
You don't want to shut up shop. You know, there's still business to be done.
It's like when you go to the shops when they start to close the door, but you can still go in and out.
Yeah, like
The roller door is half down.
On over.
A bit of wiping that ass chat to start the show.
Yeah. I hadn't heard that one before.
Gross, because Liam just acted out what he does.
Oh,
while
well, no
that was
need to.
playing.
That
So
was
he looked me in the eye and didn't squat, and I don't need that.
That was a private moment between us. I didn't need my dirty laundry aired across the national airwaves.
What is not private is the Forbidden Folder, because we do it live on your radios every single week. The Forbidden Folder is all the topics our boss has banned us from talking about, but we do it anyway.
And this evening, we want to know if you've witnessed a crime, but you didn't call the police about it. I know that's very specific, but we were doing a show yesterday, and we got this call from a guy called Mark.
We saw two guys pulling out the old body in the carpet trick. So I said, we should call that one in, and we were a bit tired. And the next day on the news, they fished out a body out of the Georges River.
And then you called it in?
No, we didn't call it in.
Can't be bothered with the hassle. Crazy. And I mean, that we were just saying, what do you do while driving or something very basic. And he was like, yeah, I just witnessed someone dumping a body. That is definitely one you would call the police about.
Absolutely.
We had a call years ago as well. We were talking about what people found in their house. And we had this call from someone called Alex.
My dad and my grandpa were doing renovations and they actually found bones under the house.
And then did you call the police and they confirmed it was that?
The parents kind of just decided to shove them back there.
Yeah, Alex, I'm pretty sure if you find bones, whenever that is, that's a police job.
I think that might have been the answer to a couple of unsolved murders.
Yeah.
So Exhibit A and B, we have had multiple stories on this show from people who have been I saw this happen, didn't call, bit of a hassle, don't worry about it.
13/20/14. What did you see that you didn't call the police about because you thought it would just be too much of a hassle? Maybe it wasn't even a full crime, but you're like, oh, it's suspicious. I should probably report it.
Can you tell me if you have ever heard a house or car alarm and actually done something about it? Because I don't.
No,
well, my initial instinct with that is someone else will do it.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
I just think someone might have bumped it or something. I mean, I saw someone shoplifting the other day and I didn't do anything about it.
Yeah.
I know it's bad and it's wrong. But
that's a completely different thing. You definitely should have intervened.
Yeah, but I feel like if someone's if they're furiously putting things in their bag from Coles, they probably they're probably really hungry and they can't. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Were they stealing stuff from Coles?
Yeah, they were.
Okay.
Yeah. Big sponsor, actually. I just realised something. And obviously don't do that, but the person didn't look...
Unless Liam's there, and then you can it's free for all.
They didn't look like they're having a great time, put it that way. But I did spear tackle them when I saw them later on.
Oh, yeah.
Wendy in Sydney, what did you just witness?
Hello, I've just witnessed a young teenage guy shoplifting in a retail store. He was shoving Nutella packs and chocolates into his bag.
Yes, it's hard to argue that you really need the Nutella.
That's it. This guy was stealing some fruit, and you know what I mean? It feels like a ye olde crime.
Yeah, the bread.
Yeah, it's like getting sent to Australia back in the day for stealing bread or whatever it was.
And Wendy, you did nothing about it?
So I called them out on it because I'd seen it, but obviously it's out of my right to sort of like get him to open his bag. And people were just at the right place at the right time. Undercover security in the shop walked past, and yeah, they asked him to open his bag, and there was all the Nutella.
Yeah, right.
There it was.
So is that you actually did call it in, really?
Yeah. Yeah, you didn't call the police, I guess, but you called security. Wendy, thank you very much. Kate in Sydney, what did you witness?
Oh, the people across the road were building, and some other people were stealing stuff from the building site. So I just watched them throw it over the fence and load it into their car and run away.
Yeah, and you thought, it's probably nothing I can do about it. But by the time I called the police, it's probably like a lower priority. And I'm halfway through a movie, and dinner's getting
well,
cold.
I didn't like the neighbours anyway.
All right. So yeah, you thought stuff them. No, I get it.
Kate
Yeah.
went in after and started
It's
stealing
true, but
stuff.
I mean, even if you did phone it in, that does feel like, well, that's like, what are they going to do about it?
Yeah. They'd be like, yeah, thanks, Sarah.
Yeah. Ash in Sydney, you witnessed a crime as well. You just didn't call it in.
Yeah, got similar to the last call. I got a couple of crazy neighbours, but these guys are full on nuts. They're out in the street doing burnouts in unregistered cars, and mate, they even got guns in the house. They're shooting cars across the street, shooting gas bottles, setting off explosions.
Yeah.
Just total nightmare.
Wow.
And you're not calling any of it in.
Well, I did call some previously. They actually used to have cages, and they catch people's pets, like neighbourhood pets, and
Oh my gosh.
they're killing people's cats and pets and stuff, and then throwing them in the fire pit. And I called up the cops about that. They didn't seem to want to know about it, so I figured if they don't care about that, they probably don't care about people shooting cars and doing burnouts.
Yeah.
I feel like this might actually be something we should do something.
Yeah, I know.
Seem
Yeah,
like one that
that's-
needs to be reported, yeah.
It's not great,
It's all
Ash.
fun and games.
Yeah, I mean the cat stuff. I was like,
Yeah, cat stuff
That's
was
awful. That is
took the fun out of it a bit. Yeah.
That's horrendous.
That's like something from Grand Theft Auto or something.
Yeah. Are you still neighbours with him, Ash?
Yeah, and if there's any cops around Hornsby that want to give me a buzz, pass my details on to them.
All right.
That'd be great, Ash. We'll try and sort that one out for you.
Thanks, mate.
You're listening to Len, BM and Lel.
Married at First Sight, back on our screens, Ben and Bell. I don't watch MAFS myself, but I tell you what, they do a good promo. Like every time you see it come up on the TV, you think, I must admit, that does look juicy.
I don't watch the show either, but I saw so many juicy promos watching the tennis.
Yeah.
Most of the time, they're just saying something quite factual. But because of all the reverb on the voice and like the big horns and stuff behind it, it sounds epic. Like this.
The dinner party will either strengthen our couple's relationships or it could dial up the problems.
It's like the War of the Worlds.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're like, yeah, I suppose one of those two things will happen, but that you've made it sound interesting. Now, earlier we said, hey, just give us a buzz, 13 24 10. We want to know what you got up to on your summer break. And I was thinking we could do like MAFS promos for our listeners. So Claire in Brizzy, what did you get up to?
I broke down during a mini cyclone in a small town, and I got a ride to Byron from one of the guys behind the bar.
Whoa.
I mean, that is actually a pretty good story. But like this is what I'm thinking. This is how it would sound if it was in a MAFS promo.
She came seeking adventure, but fate had something else in store. Stranded in chaos, this season Claire's forced to face the storm both outside and within. In a world of serendipitous moments, was the cyclone fate or the beginning of a new chapter? Married at First Sight. Love comes when you least expect it.
That was really good.
I mean, I'd watch it.
Are you saying she found love in the middle of a cyclone?
Yeah, Claire, did you get on with the guy or have you never seen him again?
No, I was with my boyfriend.
You were with your boyfriend?
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry. I didn't have all the information, but that's just how I imagined it.
Yeah.
And that's quite often they do talk it up and you watch it and you're like, oh, well, that's just someone throwing a wine glass from the last season.
Yeah.
And they've just cut it in there.
Yeah.
Tracy joins us now. You're in Melbourne. Now, what did you get up to in your summer break?
My husband broke the toilet and tried to blame the kids.
Your husband broke the toilet and tried to blame the kids. Amazing.
Yes, he did.
Okay, and this is what that would sound like in a MAFS promo.
Sometimes it's the smallest moments that change everything. For Tracy, it's not just a broken toilet. It's breaking point. Have her husband's bowels pushed her into an affair? Tears, deceit, and new beginnings. No turning back. Married at First Sight, the journey of love, and the lessons we never saw coming.
Are you cheating on your husband now, Tracy? Or are you still happily married?
Happily married.
Okay, yeah, but it sounds better if you allude to the fact that there's something going on, you know? It makes it more juicy.
You're on Nova.
That bit was Baby Gronk approved. Oi, stop gooning. The next bit's about to start.
We are about to do a little experiment. We have got 10 callers on the air with us live. We don't do this too often, but everybody should be there. Everybody, are you there?
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there should be 10
That
there.
sounded like 3 switched on people, and then the rest were like, oh, yeah,
Hey.
that's right, we called.
We'll try again. Everybody, are you there?
Yeah.
That's better.
That sounds like 10
Yep.
Aussies who are up and about.
All right, now the reason you have all called is for a little bit of an experiment. I just need you to shout out your name if this next thing I'm about to say applies to you. If it doesn't, that's it. The experiment's over. You can go. 1 in 10 Aussies are still using 1234 as their PIN code.
Yes.
I mean, a couple of people said, like, no way, like, they couldn't believe it. Like, we said we didn't need... Someone said that applied to them. Who was that?
Mark.
Mark. Hang on. Mark. Has there 2 Marks?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, right. And so which Mark... Which...
Oh, no, so there's two Marks.
Hang on. And did both Marks say they're still using 1234 as their passcode?
Yeah, I shouldn't really say, but it's for my PIN code.
Sorry, Mark 1. Mark 1. Mark, so hang on.
No, we've got a Mark in Sydney and a Mark in Melbourne.
Okay, yeah, Mark in Sydney. How long have you been using 1234?
That's the bad Mark.
Is that me?
Yeah, if you're a Mark in Sydney, yeah. I suppose so. It can't be the other one.
Yeah, look, the experiment's over. I've got all I needed. I just needed to prove. So
Yeah.
that was proof. 2 out of 10 Aussies are still using 1234.
And no offence to the Marks, but Mark in Sydney sounds like the kind of guy who uses 1234 as the PIN code. I guess it's easy to remember, but that does. I mean, that's even worse than what they're saying in the news.
Yeah, that's incredible. I did hear someone say no.
13 24 10. Give us a buzz. I want to know, do you have a ridiculous password? Now, we don't know who you are. We can't hack your stuff. You can also not tell us your name if you don't want to, so you can remain anonymous. 13 24 10. Do you have a ridiculous password? We want to hear what it is.
Mine was head rooster once upon a time, and then because work makes you change it all the time, so it was just like head rooster man, like big rooster, cluck cluck, head rooster.
Yep.
I think it got to a point where it was chunky roo boy, and I've told this story a few times, but I was away on the holidays and my emails wouldn't work, so then I had to call the IT department to change my password. They're like, sure, just what is it? And I had to say chunky roo boy to the, and I was like, it's too much to explain, like how it got to that point.
I also won't say the name of the person, but all of our show socials were protected by the name of a popular news presenter.
Well, yeah, I mean, you
there's only a few of them, so if you...
Well, I was going to say, I didn't think you'd scale it down that much, but I feel like we've just lost the show TikTok. There it goes. Shazia joins us now. Do you have a ridiculous password?
Hi, guys. Yes, I do, actually. So it's basically a count back from 24 to 1. So 24 digits.
Okay.
As in, hang on, 24, no, is it like 24, 23, 22?
Yeah, all the way to 1.
I mean, that's a lot.
That's
of typing.
a lot.
That's huge.
It seems pretty safe.
It
Yeah.
does, but then, it says, like, you need one capital letter.
Nobody would expect it. Yeah.
No. I kind of, I know it's ridiculous, but it's also like I feel like a hacker. Like it's a lot of typing. Like the hacker would almost give up halfway.
Yeah.
Just be like, I'll just use someone else's.
Also, for you to have to write that every time you want to access like an email or something. Seems like a lot.
Shazia, how long does it take you to write it?
Oh, I'm used to it now, so I get through it pretty quick.
Yeah. What I like to do
And
is
no one wants to open my phone. They just can't be bothered to put the password in, so it works for me.
That's the code to unlock your phone as well.
Yeah, it is, yes.
Hang on, can you do that on a phone?
Yes, I can. I have a BlackBerry, and I can sort of draw it, like kind of go back.
Like when you're playing the piano.
Imagine that if, like, your best friend was having a coronary in front of you and you're, oh my God, we got to call an ambulance. 24, 23, 22. Just 1 second. I'll call the ambulance in a sec.
It's the Liam, Ben and Bell podcast. Liam owes me $50 for saying that.
13 24 10. We want to know your sky high nightmares. What happened on the plane? You may have seen this doing the rounds online already. There's this woman who's gone absolutely viral. She's sitting in her plane seat and she's refusing to give it up to this kid who's throwing an absolute tanty next to her. The kid is crying, and apparently what happened is she's refusing to give up her seat after the kid boarded the plane, sat in the window seat. She got on and said, that's my window seat. Can you please move? Kid moved. Kids then obviously said to their mum, hey, I want to sit there. The woman said, no, this is my window seat. I've got allocated this, or she may have paid for it. We don't know the whole backstory. And the kids started crying, and then everybody's joining in. And then someone started filming the whole interaction. That's the video that's gone online. And all the comments are like, you should give your seat up for this kid. Like, how dare you be this mean to this kid? And obviously, as you can see, I'm taking the side of the woman who's staying in her place. She's now, this is the annoying part though, she's now suing the woman who was filming her because she didn't give consent to be filmed. So that's a little okay,
But
well, that's extreme.
that person was like a third party.
Yeah. So, but the whole time this kid is just crying because they're not getting their way and they're not able to sit in the plane seat. I'm like, well, bad luck.
I got a worse sky high nightmare than that. I was on a plane once, and you know how when you get your food and you got your little cup of water and you put your rubbish in the cup,
Yeah.
keep it all neat and tidy.
Yeah.
The guy next to me put his rubbish in my cup.
Did you say anything?
Don't do that.
I was disgusted. I couldn't believe what had happened. But I honestly was like, did that just happen? I almost didn't believe it. I was like, that's surely no one's crazy enough to do that.
I had a nice little present, actually. I went overseas over the holidays there, and there was a little chocolate and a candy cane on my seat when I was sat. And I was like, oh, that's nice. The airline have done that. And then it had a little note on it. And it said, this is our children's first time flying, and we're not quite sure what to expect. We're going to do our best to keep them calm. Merry Christmas.
Oh, I've seen that.
So they were sitting in front of me, and I didn't think, yay, I thought FML, because this is a 12-hour flight. I wasn't like, oh, great, the candy cane. I was like, great, I'm next to the baby. Got to say, though, the baby, gorgeous. If I have a baby, I hope it's like that. I mean, I tell you what, just quiet the whole time. The parents did a great job, but the little kid next to me, he was like 12. Worst kid on earth.
Yeah.
Worst kid on earth. I was probably quite similar to this kid, but he had to be making sounds and doing stuff the whole time. And he was singing, the Cranberries Zombie, but he was doing it like a cat. So he was like, meow, 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 for 6 hours.
To be honest.
And the dad had he was just had his headphones as pretending his kid didn't exist, and this kid was just making gun sounds and
Liam, that sounds like you as a kid.
It does.
That honestly sounds
I just couldn't believe it. It was the flight from hell.
13 24 10 sky high nightmares.
James in Brizzy, what happened on the plane?
So we were going to Perth, and we were in one of the lounges, and my son has an egg allergy, and the employee didn't tell us that these biscuits had egg in them, so we ate them. Anyway, so we're on the flight, and he vomits, but he vomits on my younger son, who then vomits because he was vomited on, and big old nightmare.
You know what, James? I've had a vomit train myself once because
Is that what it's called, a vomit train?
Well, I don't know. I've called it a vomit train.
Yeah.
Where growing up when I was a kid, my older brother and I went on a roller coaster at a theme park, and he turned to me, threw up on me, and then I turned back to him and threw up on him.
And the people behind you definitely would have copped some.
Oh yeah, there was a lot going on. I feel you, James. I'm so sorry about that. Alana in Sydney, good evening. What happened on the plane?
Yeah, so we recently had a flight back from Sunshine Coast after a wonderful holiday, and we jumped on the plane. We noticed a baby in front of us. I have kids myself, but mine are much older. About 5 minutes into the plane trip, we smelled a smell that we probably shouldn't smell so close on a plane. It appears the baby had soiled its nappy, and the mother did not seem to smell it or change it for the whole flight back to Sydney.
Yeah.
No.
And it was so bad.
Do you think? I wonder if it was like a husband and wife both trying to pretend that they could smell it, hoping that the other one would change it. You know what I mean? Like just like watching a movie. Yeah, everything good with you? Oh yeah, great. Yep. Might have the pot noodles actually. Yeah.
Mark in Sydney, what happened on that plane?
I was on a flight to Singapore and I had someone try and open up the exit door, and and the flight crew had to jump on him and pull him away and kind of restrain him for the next 6 to 8 hours for the rest of the flight.
So were they in the emergency row and they stood up and just did it, or did they come out of nowhere and jump at the door?
No, they were just kind of come out of. They were just stretching and then walked over to the door and started pushing on the lever.
But why?
That's crazy.
Did you know why they were doing this, Mark?
Maybe they wanted some fresh air.
Yeah. Or take the plane down or something. I like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely like a form of like terrorism. I suppose that, everything sort of seems to be so tense anyway on a flight, even if people raise their voice. But like, if someone goes over and tries to open the door, then you instantly sus on everyone else. Like, is there more people? I like though that the person at least went for the stretch maneuver to make it less. Yeah, it's
open
like
the door.
when you're going to the movies for the first time with a date and you stretch up and you put your arm over. He was just doing the stretch. I'm going to take it down.
Look over there. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's a bellrog. Oh, no, it's just Ben Lehman Bell.
One bar star man on your radio. I'm really, really fast. Just listen to me go.
It is the first one for the year. The One Bar Star Man, a.k.a. Liam, can tell you the name of a song and the artist just by hearing the very first bar of that song. If you can beat him at his own game, though, you do win a bar of gold. How you feeling, Liam?
I'm feeling good. Obviously, we are setting the precedent and the tone for the whole year here, so I'm hoping for a good round. I'm going to be versing Tiffany in Melbourne, so I suppose you could say I'm having breakfast at Tiffany's. Didn't really work, but I thought I'd go for it. You heard this before, Tiff?
Yes, I have.
And do you win normally when you play along listening to the radio?
Sometimes, but I have a feeling that I'm not going to beat you because you were pretty fast, but I'm going to have a go.
All right, you don't sound too confident.
Yeah, I've already won the mental game. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop out.
Before you leave there, Liam, I'll give you the theme if you want, because it is a new year, 2025. I thought I'd do songs that were released in 2025 and every other year for the last 20 years.
Oh, that's great. No, it's good to narrow it down. Did you say 25 years?
20 years-ish.
That's 20-ish.
Could be a bit more than that.
Be a bit serious out, you know what I mean? Like,
why do we even have a theme?
Liam is now leaving, Tiff. I'm going to play you the songs. You've got 30 seconds on the clock to try and guess as many as you can. If you don't know the song, though, remember, you can pass, okay?
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Girls Run the World, Beyonce. Lady Gaga, Poker Face.
Doing very good.
Yeah.
Pussycat Dolls.
I don't think that's Pussycat Dolls.
The Candy Shop.
Yeah, by?
50 Cent.
Yes. And that is time. 3 is pretty good.
That's
well
really
done.
good.
Thank you.
No worries. Liam is now back in the studio. She got 3. Pretty good.
3's decent. Yeah, that's actually good, Tiff.
All right. 30 seconds on the clock for Liam. Let's see how many he can get.
Who Run the World Girls? Beyonce. Lady Gaga. Poker Face. Candy Shop, 50 Cent. Sing, Ed Sheeran.
He's done it.
Pretty calm, pretty collected. Yeah. I'm going for more of a demure approach. I normally like, scream. No, I was just sort of playing it cool. I've got time to play with.
And that's it.
Liked that podcast? There's heaps more to listen to if you just scroll back or download the Nova Player app.
Ben, Liam, and Bell.